Welcome back to Arise and Shine. Our next guest uses a traditional dyeing technique to create contemporary designs. Here to show us her West African clothing line is founder and creator Busayo Alupona. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So tell us about your women's wear line, Busayo. You use traditional Nigerian attire to create contemporary looks like the dress that you're wearing right now, which I absolutely love.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So the line is called Busayo, and I work primarily in a technique called adire. And adire is sort of a blanket term for Nigerian tie-dye and wax print. So like essentially like batiks, which you're using candle wax to protect certain colors before you dye a fabric. So you can sort of introduce different colors, usually lighter colors first, then you do some kind of manipulation through the fabric, which we're gonna show you a little bit of, and then you dip into a darker color. So you get that contrast between like the light and dark. So you can kind of see that in what I'm wearing.
Yeah, absolutely. So walk us through how it's done.
So this is like a really small basic example. Basically, I just started with like a white fabric, right? And so this design, I already started it for everyone to kind of see. And then you pick up a little piece of the fabric, so just like a tiny amount, right? So then we're gonna take one of these, which is just like regular plastic wrap. You know, it's not like brain surgery, it's really basic. And you just wrap that piece of fabric, right? Like you wrap it around, you know, and just to protect it. And then you fold it over, like what's left. And then you just take like a piece of string.
And so it's just regular string.
Yeah, this is just like any kind of string. You can use yarn, you can use wool, whatever. And you just do like a really, really tight, like you really want to make sure it's tight, because what you're essentially trying to do is protect this piece from the color, from the dye. So, you know, sort of just doing it really quickly. You want to kind of tie it all the way up, like similar to this. But, you know, since we're short on time, we'll just do it really fast. So anyway, you tie like a really good knot, make sure it's really, really tight. And then you can just, you know, RIT dye is available like at Walgreens, CVS, any basic like drugstore. The brand is called RIT, and it's really basic to follow. You just basically pour it out and pour it into a bucket. And then you can just dip, you know, sort of assuming we've put the whole design on, you dip this whole piece in your dye, you submerge it, and you want to keep it in there for like 10 minutes or so. And then you could get something really, like this is something that we did. And this is how we basically created.
And so these white parts are the parts that you've
covered, and that's how you get this really beautiful design. So is this a scarf? This is a scarf. This is a scarf. And I mean, this could also, like for the winter, this is probably a little bit too light.
Right, so you could get thicker material.
Absolutely. You can do this on, it has to be a natural fiber though. You can't do it on like basically like, you know, polyester. Like
so I can go home right now and try this out.
Absolutely. If you have a cotton dress that's a little dingy or a little bit old, it's a really great way to like upcycle and like reuse your clothing.
Okay, so I want to talk about how you also support entrepreneurs in Nigeria. Tell me about that.
So this was a labor of love for me to feed my own interest in this design, but also an opportunity to really go home. That's where my family's from, and have the opportunity to work with entrepreneurs there. So most of my work, I do the dyeing in conjunction with a group of men who are mostly from Gambia, but some are from Nigeria, who are just small business owners themselves. And so they help me do my work. I work with them and apprentice with them for the month that I'm there to really create the textiles. And then everything is manufactured in Nigeria. My tailor is a small business, like several small business owners there as well. So it's a great opportunity for me to kind of interact with my home, my home country, but also give back and also support just amazing artists themselves. I mean, the stuff that's being created is incredible.
Absolutely, and I'm sure they are really appreciative to have a platform of being able to see their work around the world. I know you brought some models. I'm so excited. Let's check them out. So tell us about this first look.
This is Janisha, and she is wearing a blazer that's, the inspiration behind it was like painted stained glass. Like I wanted to create a fabric that looked like a stained glass mirror.
It does look like that.
And so it's a combination of both tie-dye, so we did what's called a triangle dye, which is you basically fold the fabric in a triangle, you dip each end in a yellow, a blue, and a red, and then you go over with a wax stamp to create that sort of protect that color, and then you dip everything in black. When you scrape off the wax, all the things you've covered was protected by the wax. And so that's how you get that three-dimensional look.
And I'm loving the skirt.
Oh, the skirt is super simple. Literally, the dye is poured onto the fabric. That's how you create that. It's super simple.
Love it.
So you know, you can see yellows in there, you can see reds, you can see greens. And so literally, the artist just pours the dye and, you know, at different times, and that's how you get that look.
Cool. All right, let's check out the next creation.
Our next model is Rozalinda, and she is wearing an eyelet eyelet dress that I think
goodness.
would be great for a holiday party.
Or me.
Absolutely, we can make that happen. And it's a tie-dye dress with what's called a scatter design. So the red parts that you see is created through tie-dyeing, which is like that part is like covered in deep dyed.
Right.
And then the rest of the design you're seeing is literally the dye is poured onto the fabric. So that's how you get that like multi-layered look.
I love that. I love it.
And I love eyelets. Like eyelets are the sexiest things to me.
It adds a little depth or something, texture to the dress as well.
Absolutely.
Should we check out our, do we have one more?
No, that's it.
This is it, okay.
Just brought two for you. And
amazing. And well, you're a model as well, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, girls. That was beautiful. You guys can check it out one more time. Okay, so tell us about some of the celebrities that have worn your looks.
Okay, so a dear friend of mine, Adikbere Oduye, she's an actor. She was in 12 Years a Slave, and she's been a great supporter of the brand.
Amazing.
Tatiana Ali, she wore it to the White House. So I always say, I've never been to the White House, but my clothes have been, which is really exciting. Uzo Aduba from she plays Crazy Eyes on Orange is the New Black. She's worn the brand.
Which is like the hottest new show right now.
Yeah,
so
no, absolutely. That was very, very cool. And Yaya DaCosta, she wore it. It's going to be a show on PBS in the spring that's going to air.
Amazing. And how long has Busayo been around?
It's been around for about 2.5 years. I was a practicing lawyer before I started doing this.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. And if you want to find out more about Busayo and her amazing clothing, go to busayonyc.com, or you can find her on Twitter and Facebook at Busayo NYC.